Hey, welcome back everyone. This is a video that I've wanted to do for quite a while. So let me see if I can get this Ryker out of here with all this mess in the way, and we'll get started. All right, there we go. So I want to talk about basically the top 3 mods that I like for the Ryker. Most of the add-ons and mods that I like to do generally are going to be more function over appearance. You'll notice this Ryker in this video is really filthy. It's actually 10 times cleaner than it was since the last time I took it out. And that time I went down a dirt road full of potholes. It had just been raining for weeks on end. Went through a puddle where I actually got my foot submerged in water. Had the water shooting up all over the place, and this thing was absolutely covered. The first mod I want to talk about is this top case. So there's a few options out there for the Ryker as far as storage goes. There's some pretty expensive ones, you know, up close to $1,000 for the top case and the side bags. Get the things that made by Can-Am, but I didn't want to go too crazy on the price, so I took a kind of a leap here. This top case is branded Comey. It's on Amazon. It was very inexpensive, relatively. So this thing has a ton of storage. All right, I just want to grab my helmet so you can see exactly how big this thing is. So here's a full-size helmet, and this is not small in the way of helmets, and it fits in there with tons of space around it. The top, it doesn't even come close to hitting. So there, if you need storage, it's not a bad way to go. I'll put the details in the description. The thing that you will notice with this is this isn't going to work for you. At least this setup is not going to work for you if you're carrying a passenger, if you have a passenger seat. But I have the max mount on here, and it does work pretty well with the max mount. I mean, obviously without the max mount, you'd have to come up with something different. But as far as this installing with the max mount, I'll show you. It has a knob here that you can unscrew. Pull this handle up, and this thing lifts right off of this carrier. Alright, so this rack is included. With this one I chose a bolt, one on each side and one in the middle. And I did have to drill a small hole, which I'll show you here, to get this one in. But this has turned out to be really stable. And you can see underneath, they come with these clamps. And so this clamp hooks just underneath the max side of the max mount on the back. It's on that part that I think is metal, so fairly sturdy. And then underneath with this one, I had to drill just a small hole to get this bolt to come through. And that one there, certainly no danger of coming off there. Now, at first I was kind of a little concerned, am I going to have to worry about the tire coming up and hitting any of these things? So I tried to check on kind of the range of motion and how far this wheel would compress and how far it would come up. I don't think it comes up this far, so I think it's safe. Without a passenger on there, I don't think that's going to be an issue at all. So once you get this rack mounted on there, there's a lip right on the front of the case. It's a little tricky one-handed, but that lip right there slides in here. Pop the handle down, put this in. You don't really need to take this out all the way either. I think it's got a little rambunctious there. But you just tighten this down nice and hand tight. And that's it. It comes with 2 keys. It's got some little reflectors on the back, which, to be honest, a little added visibility on these Rykers. I'll take every bit I can get. And it has this back pad. So if I'm out on the highway just with a comfortable cruise, I can lean back slightly, a couple of inches, and rest my back right on that, and still be able to reach the handlebars pretty well. So that's that. And speaking of the handlebars, you may notice something is that these actually have been replaced, and that's the second mod I want to talk about. So I'll put a picture up here so you can see that the factory bars have a bend, and they bend kind of towards the front and then they come back. And these bars don't have that bend in them, and you can see from the picture it actually brings your reach back quite a bit. I like the idea of doing these bars instead of the riser, simply for the fact that with the riser you come back here and it looks like it could make accessing the gas cap a little bit more difficult. So I'll put these bars, the link to these, in the description. Installing these is not difficult at all. All of the controls come off easily. The only tricky part that I had was getting this grip off and getting it back on. It took a lot of twisting and pulling and trying to shoot some kind of lubricant inside of it to get it off. So that's 2 down. And the third mod that's my favorite is this windshield. This windshield here is the Can-Am, I think they call the Adventure. Really easy to install. It's just, I believe it's just these 4 bolts. It is adjustable through this lever, and it looks like, I think right now they're in the lowest position. So here's about eye level for me. And you want your eye level to be over the top of your windshield. You don't want your windshield to be up here in the way of your eyes. So the Ryker without the windshield, if you're not tooling around much over 40 miles an hour, so the windshield's probably a waste. It's not really going to do much. In fact, it's kind of nice to not have a windshield. But if you're doing riding in the cold, this thing certainly helps, keeping the air from blasting you right in the front. If you decide to go with a half helmet, or you don't have any helmet at all, having a windshield is pretty nice because it can keep a lot of debris off your face. So with one of these windshields, what you can expect is it'll keep the wind from blasting you from about the chin down, and usually like the middle of your chest up to about your chin or your face is protected pretty well against the wind. And I haven't had any issue with buffering, like experiencing turbulence. So those 3 mods are definitely my favorite. If I had to get a Ryker over again, these are probably the first 3 things that I would do. Storage, handlebars, and this Adventure windshield. Now I'm going to give you a bonus mod here, because this is one that I do like. It's not necessarily in my top 3, but I certainly like it. And that's this shift lever with shift knob. Now I didn't have a problem using my foot to pull the lever back into reverse and push it forward. Mrs. Slow Rider had requested this to make it easy for her to shift. It puts this in nice easy reach. I only have to lean forward ever so slightly to grab this, pull it back. It does kind of get in the way of my knee a little bit, but only when it's in reverse. And I'm not going very far in reverse usually anyway. So not a big deal. Makes it easy to pull it back, easy to push it forward. So there it is. That's the bonus 4th mod that I would recommend if you have problems shifting. Certainly, although it's not cheap, this is a pretty nice way to go. Makes it really, really easy. So there we go. That was my 3 favorite mods and a bonus mod for those who might need it. Let me know what you think. Do you agree with some of these mods or disagree? Do you have other mods that are your favorites? And I'll see you again soon.